Hi, this is Dr. Stephanie Wautier, and I'm the host of Conversations with a Chiropractor. This is not a health how-to, but rather a conversation with some amazing people I've had the pleasure of being with on my journey of life. Think of it more like Tuesdays with Maury, a fireside chat, or chicken soup for the soul. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and enjoy this conversation with a chiropractor. Hey there. I'm Dr. Stephanie Wautier, your host of Conversations with a Chiropractor. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the differentiation between laser and red light therapy. So I was in the doctor's office. I was actually in the eye doctor, and one of the lovely women who helps me pick out the most fun glasses said, "Hey, Stephanie, what do you think about those red light masks that you can take or that you can use at home?" And she may have even used the word laser. What do you think about those red laser masks? And I just thought, oh my gosh, there's so much confusion. We get so much information from social media. And really, there are marketing geniuses that are telling us exactly what we want to hear. That we can get a $75 unit to wear at home, and it's the fountain of youth. Unfortunately, that's not true. That's not real. That's not the full picture. So let's start at the Webster Dictionary definition of a laser. So a laser is a device that utilizes the natural oscillations of atoms or molecules between energy levels for generating a beam of coherent electromagnetic radiation, usually in the ultraviolet, visible, or infrared regions of the spectrum. So those masks that you can buy on Amazon, they're not laser. They're red light. So what's the difference? Red light is non-coherent, meaning that it sort of bounces all over the place. Low-level laser therapy is very coherent, and it has low beam divergence, meaning that it is not going to scatter all over the place. What are some other differences? Low-level lasers are monochromatic, and LED red lights, unfortunately, have a broad spectral purity. Low-level laser is actually going to have a greater depth that it will affect, and the red light is more superficial, and it is not precise, the red light, whereas low-level laser therapy or low-level laser has targeted precision. So what would be some other general ways we could think about the difference? Flashlight versus a laser pointer. Red light therapy is like a flashlight. It's going to spread light out. It's going to cover a broad area. It doesn't go very deep. It's great for illuminating a room, whereas a laser pointer has focused light in one concentrated beam. It's going to travel farther, and it delivers more energy to a precise target. Now, you might say, oh my gosh, well, lasers aren't safe, right? Lasers are super dangerous and they're going to be hot and cut tissue. Well, let me remind you that we have lasers in our everyday life, like a CD player. There's a laser. Printers have lasers, laser pointers if you're at some sort of a classroom. And then, yes, physicians, dentists do have class 4 lasers that actually will cut tissue and get hot. And that obviously a very, very trained professional needs to be in use of. In the chiropractic world, I have some lasers that are from the company Erchonia. Now, Erchonia has really spent their entire existence to prove that lasers work and to do double-blind, placebo-controlled research studies. In fact, they have 22 FDA clearances for different conditions. And I just want to read you a little bit about classifications and FDA approvals. So low-level laser devices are classified as either Class 3B or Class 2 lasers in virtue of having a power output of 5 to 500 milliwatts, respectively low risk. There's very, very, very low risk with these shorter wavelengths of low-level laser therapy. The first FDA market clearance for laser therapy was gained by an Erchonia low-level laser, and it catered to chronic neck and shoulder pain. This laser was a 5 milliwatt, 635 nanometer line generated beam with a singular treatment duration of 4 minutes. So, this is the kind of laser that we use in the chiropractic world, specifically amazing for pain and inflammation, amazing for increasing range of motion, neck and shoulder pain, low back pain. We also have 2 Erchonia lasers in our glow aesthetics world. And those lasers actually do create a micropore in the cell membrane of a fat cell and allow the contents of that cell to be pulled into the interstitial space and excreted into the way that your body excretes any other waste. So the thing that I absolutely love about Erchonia is they are going to prove what they advertise. The proof is truly in their pudding. The first study that they did was for chronic neck and shoulder pain. They also have other FDA clearances for things like acne, pain associated with breast augmentation surgery, equine wound healing, arm circumference reduction of the upper arms, non-invasive body contouring, as I mentioned before, chronic heel pain, non-invasive dermatologic aesthetic treatment for the reduction of circumference of the hip, waist, and thighs. Lots of amazing FDA clearances. This might sound like an advertisement for Erchonia lasers, but really, I just want to talk about what I know. What I do know is that red light alone produces heat, and that sometimes that's dangerous. In fact, I have a dear, sweet friend who was fighting breast cancer years and years ago. She thought she was doing a good thing by getting a home LED red light therapy product. But what I know, even with the low-level laser therapy, is that it is contraindicated in cancer because any of these tools that are exciting the mitochondria to create more ATP can possibly be exciting the cancer cells to multiply as well. So these tools are definitively contraindicated if you have an active cancer. But let me tell you a little bit about the different wavelengths. This is not just light. So a red light laser is not red light therapy or infrared. Even though it does have the color red, it is a 635 nanometer wavelength of light. This specific red light laser is optimal for stimulating the complex 4 of the electron transport chain, which enhances ATP or energy production. This leads to accelerated tissue repair, reduced inflammation, and improved immune function via increasing interleukin 10. It is widely used for musculoskeletal pain relief, wound healing, and nerve regeneration. Additionally, the red laser can actually play a role in treating fungal nail infections, working in combination with the violet laser to promote an antifungal response. So we have a laser that's called the GVL, which is green and violet. So let's talk a little bit about those wavelengths and what they specifically do. Again, we are not just talking about light, we are talking about laser. So the green laser is 520 nanometers. It is effective for fat loss, collagen production, and cellular regeneration. The green light laser uniquely stimulates complex 3 of the ATP transferase process, supporting stem cell activation, collagen synthesis, chondrocyte function. It has been FDA cleared for pain and inflammation and is particularly effective in fat loss treatments. The current theory also suggests that the green light helps to create transient pores in the fat cells, like I talked about a little bit earlier, allowing the lipids to be released and metabolized naturally through the lymphatic system. One thing I think is really powerful and important to talk to our listeners about is the fact that this is so natural. This is not like some of the fat loss tools that will actually freeze the fat cells. Unfortunately, that can create kind of an insult to the nervous system or insult to the endocrine system where our body goes into fight or flight and actually produces more adipose cells in response to those fat cells being frozen. On the contrary, when we're doing something very gentle and very natural, like using the green laser, we are actually encouraging the fat cells to do this thing called the cascade effect, where they are talking to each other and saying, hey, like, hey girl, hey, you can you can let it all go. You can have that little micro pore and you can just release all of the things you've been holding. So like when I did my own little personal study on the first fat loss or body contouring laser, I actually lost 17 inches across my whole body. I was only using the laser, like pointing it at my abdomen, but I lost like an inch or two around even like my neck and my arms because of that cascade effect. So pretty spectacular. The GVL, like I said, we have at Wautier Wellness. The violet light is a 405 nanometer, spectacular for antimicrobial effect, scar tissue repair, and even nail fungus treatment. The violet light has the highest photon energy per wavelength, making it uniquely effective for complexes 1 and 2 of the mitochondria. It is particularly valuable for antimicrobial applications, helping to combat bacteria, fungus, viruses. When it's used with the red laser, the violet actually helps to enhance the body's natural antifungal response by generating reactive oxygen species, or ROS, that converted into hydrogen peroxide, which, as we know, we've got it under our kitchen sinks, is a natural antiseptic that kills fungal infections. So are you more confused than ever? I sure hope you're not. The kind of therapy that I'm talking about, low-level laser therapy, you are going to have to go to a physician's office to receive. These are not things that you can get in your home. Now, hot and cold is great. Heat is great. Warmth is great. I mean, who grew up taking a sauna, right? I mean, saunas are wonderful. Infrared saunas are wonderful. Heating up your tissue does something, but we have to be really, really careful that we know what we're buying, that we know that there are studies to back the claims up. The advertisers, they want us to buy the fountain of youth, and we want it too, of course. But you really, really, really need to research the products that you're purchasing, and you need to know the difference between low-level laser therapy and red light therapy. And hopefully I've done that for you today. I hope that you go away knowing a little bit more about what lasers are and just being a little bit more of a wise consumer. That has been my goal for today's episode.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this podcast, would you please rate it, review it, like, or subscribe? You can find me on social media at wautierwellness.com, Dr. Stephanie Wautier on Instagram, or Wautier Wellness Chiropractic and Massage on Facebook. And I'm so curious where your next conversation will take you.